Okay, so let's start talking about technology a bit, okay? This is the geeky part, right? So let's start talking about technology. So we have, let's say that we have the content, we're gonna talk about content in a second, but content needs to sit on something, which is, the technology behind it. So what do you guys do?
Okay, so going back to what I've talked about, drawing a funnel of pipes where traffic comes from and needs to go through a certain process before it becomes a lead and a win. Then I'll try to review for 2 minutes all of the technical systems we're using. This might sound complicated, but it's actually not. And I don't recommend.
It's actually not.
No, it's not. It's not. But I don't recommend.
Understatement of the year. It's very simple. Everybody can do it in the garage, right?
These are the only 28 systems you
That
need.
we're using,
Yeah.
exactly. And we have 4 people just connecting the dots between them. But that's it.
So first of all, I think everything begins with the way you publish or advertise or distribute your content. For example, if you're on an ongoing basis use social networks and you're posting statuses on Facebook and tweeting, there are 2 ways of doing it. So you can go to each of the platforms and simply use it. And you can use a technology that, let's say a platform that distributes content for you on the platforms, but then it's trackable. Because if you just go to each social network and post it there, the chances that you would be able to later on know who came from a specific group on LinkedIn with a specific content would be much harder than just using one social platform or monitoring platform that is able to post everything on your behalf on all the social platforms and then track it back to your website. Now, the second thing is, think about it. If people came to your website, they can contact you via filling out a form, calling you, maybe having a live chat with one of your agents. We have to make sure that each of these systems, your email system, your live chat, which I recommend highly, your telephone system, is all synced to one system that is able to track all of the leads, so you can later on see all of them on the same system. So it's very problematic when you use one telephone system, a different live chat system, but nothing is synced. That's the second systems that we have to think about, the way customers are contacting us. The third one is the marketing automation. So I won't start explaining a bit, but when I discovered marketing automation, I couldn't understand how could I market before without having it. Because actually that's the system that syncs all of the other systems into it, and eventually all of the information about a lead would be tracked there. So the marketing automation system, same as Google Analytics, has tracking pixels on all of your websites, all of the pages, and it's synced with your live chat or telephone or whatever, and it gets the leads for the first time. It filters the leads, it scores them, it nurtures them, and it's synced to your CRM, which is the next system I wanted to talk about. So the CRM, which is Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics, we all know them.
Salesforce or Salesforce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mainly Salesforce. So the way we can sync between our marketing automation and Salesforce, what it allows us to do basically. Eventually, my goal would be that if we have thousands of leads, marketing and sales can work together without even exchanging one word between them, because everything is synced between the systems, and everyone are synced with the funnels and procedures. So if we have more leads, then we can make a higher threshold, so not all of the leads will go to sales. But eventually, when I look at all of the system, when you get to synchronize on an effective way the tracking, the content that you're distributing, the leads that you're getting, the CRM that the sales are using, then you create a very effective marketing and sales funnel. And it requires a bit of help. For example, we're using to managing Salesforce and marketing automation is not something that you can do just 10% of your time. You need someone either have time or taking an outsourced company as we're using that manages it for you, because to really optimize the funnel, it's daily work checking the campaigns, defining them, looking at the funnel, looking at the leads, getting insights from your sales guys. It's not something I recommend doing just on the way. If you're a marketing manager and you can think, yeah, I can also manage marketing automation and Salesforce. No, these are technical systems. They require lots of experience. And I can tell you, for example, now we're using Marketo, which is a marketing automation system. Forget about getting any insights from it before 3 months of using it. I mean, it takes at least 3 months of very hard work with a professional integrator to get it. But once it works, it's amazing. It allows you as a marketing manager to see everything on one system, manage everything from one system. And for us, for Incapsula at least, it made the biggest change.
At this point, I have no idea what the question was, but I want to continue what Dori started. A few things about marketing automation tools. First of all, we also use Marketo. That's our tool of choice. I can tell you that we, at a certain point, last time was a couple of years ago, did a very in-depth evaluation that took us 2 or 3 months against Eloqua, which is the second leader in that field. We decided to go with Marketo. I'll fill in the reasons if you want in the break afterwards. So that's our tool of choice. One of the first positions, I think it was the 3rd member of my team. I remember I've been at Panaya for 5 years. We now have a marketing team of 15 people. The 3rd member of the team was a marketing automation specialist. Marketing automation specialist, that's a mini IT team within marketing. I don't think a modern marketing team can survive without an IT team, either like Dori explained, by outsourcing it, or having an in-house IT team, which is a one-person, one-man show within your marketing department. I don't know how to run a marketing department today without an IT person. Wherever I go next, that's going to be the 2nd or 3rd positions that I hire. You have to get one, okay? Leave the graphic designer for last. You can always, sorry, graphic designers, we're bashing them today. You can hire graphic designers from the outside. You can get a lot of things done from the outside. You need a marketing automation specialist. There are very few people in Israel that can do that. You don't have to get them in Israel, but which is nice if you can. You need someone to do all that IT stuff. Like Dori explained, this is a daily job that takes hours of work. And as you start doing weekly campaigns, you're going to get a lot of data accumulated. You want to figure out what works, what doesn't work. Let me give you a quick example, and then I'll go into what I'm sure lots of you want to know is what other tools are you guys using? Who wants to know about actual tools we're using? Okay, it's not just me. So a couple of things. Just a quick example of something that a lot of marketeers that I talk to them about trade shows. Who here exhibits at trade shows? Okay, pretty much everyone. How many of you can track 6 months after the trade show how many people you met at the trade show, how many of them were new to your CRM system, how many of them are at early, middle, and late stage opportunities, and how many of them closed business, and how many dollars did you make for every dollar you invested in the show? Okay, I'm not alone, which is good news, but most of you can't figure that out. Okay, this is something that we developed with our internal IT system. We built a trade show ROI calculator into Salesforce. When I show this to other marketeers who haven't seen something like this, their jaw drops. Okay, I can tell you 6 months and 2 years after a show exactly how many dollars to every dollar I invested I made at that show, how many opportunities are in which stages in the pipeline, how many new accounts I met, how many old accounts I met, etc., etc. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. If you can't manage it, you can't improve it. Okay, how are you going to request budget for the same show next year if no one turned into business from last year's show? Okay, I can't do that. So I measure everything and I improve it. And if the show sucked last year, I'm not going to include it in my budget next year. So that's an example of marketing automation and what it can do for you if you have the right people in IT. A few of the tools that we chose at Panaya and we use. So we use Marketo as our marketing automation system. We use a very exotic CRM system, Salesforce.com. It was mentioned here a couple of times. And the two systems are deeply integrated one with another. We did a lot of custom development within Salesforce. We decided to pass on a lot of third-party tools that were annual subscription. Don't you just hate those companies that charge you an annual subscription? We decided to forgo a lot of those products and develop our own tools. For example, for trade show ROI analysis, for sales pipeline analysis, we developed a lot of these tools in-house. If you still decide to go for an outside tool because you don't have a business applications team large enough, I suggest you look at Cloud9. Cloud9, they do sales pipeline analysis, which is very easy to use. It looks very good. Costs a lot of money, but if you can develop it in-house, look at that tool. That was our runner-up if we wouldn't develop our own system. Couple of other tools. We use Octopost. Daniel's sitting there. I said you should talk to him in the break. I think every one of the three of us uses Octopost. We use them for posting and monitoring our social media activities. So they allow you to automatically post on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, everything, and measure what you're getting there and who's sharing and who's liking. Other tools that we're using are Insightera, spelled exactly what it sounds like. Write Insight and then add ERA. So Insightera. They're an Israeli company. So is Octopost. So is most of these tools I'm talking about, by the way. Lots of Israeli companies. Is Tamar here? Who's here? Say hi. Insightera is there. Okay, so her boss, Mike, he's a great guy. We've been working with him for a while. I say he's a great guy because he took me to a conference in San Francisco 3 months ago. No, he really is a great guy. And what Insightera do is they show you dynamic, targeted content that changes in real time on your website. That sounds fancy, right? What it actually does is, for a company like Panaya, that I have audiences that are both, or either an SAP-oriented audience or an Oracle-oriented audience, I can identify a company coming into my website and in real time change my homepage to show them Oracle content or SAP content, depending on where they're coming from, what their previous behavior on our website was, what Dun & Bradstreet say about their company, what their company size is, a million different things. I can do lots of fancy A/B testing and try different campaigns on them. I can gain more exposure for my content, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to sound like I'm working for them. So check them out. They're good stuff. They're interesting. There are other companies here who do similar stuff as well. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about automation? No, I think I've said enough. So, you go.
Wow. Nothing to add on the Marketo Salesforce. However, since you mentioned developer, assuming you're starting again, it depends on really on where you are, and based on the numbers that we just asked you to. Could be that in terms of the number of fleets, you're not there yet. There are different systems besides Marketo, which are typically easier to use and faster to deploy. I used Hubspot for a while, working really, really nicely. A lot of social integration. Pardot also something that I've used. I think Hubspot is easier, at least for me. Pardot is now part of Salesforce, so. But in any case, there are options, okay? And I totally agree. Once you're past this stage, you need a developer. You need someone in-house taking care of everything. Even if you're very technical, there's a lot of work to do. Other tools, maybe that if we mention tools, we're using something very cool. Again, small thing, but I find it extremely useful, called Tout, T-Out. Aimed for tracking all of our emails. Marketo has it, this functionality, but the fact that it's all sorted out in templates, very easy to work with. Then you can measure everything. Again, coming back to measurements, you can see, different emails and how they've been tracked, and then things like that. Again, of course, everyone that opened and sent email, that's obvious.
One thing I forgot, which is...
we have 10 more systems. Very simple.
No.
It's very simple.
At least for SaaS companies, we have... Usually SaaS companies offer some kind of a free basic service, like a freemium model. So for me, the holy grail is really also succeeding integrating your service, your web application, with the marketing automation system. Because one of the things we want to track is, let's say someone has signed up for our free plan or one of our paid plans. I mean, if we could track what he's doing on the web application, is he active or not? Has he paid or not? Where he is on the funnel of activating the service, if that's integrated into the marketing automation system, it's usually via API, then you really get all of the information you need, not only on the leads, but are actually on your customers, because one of the things we want to do is retention. We want to make sure that customers are using our system, they are active, they are logging in, etc. So one thing I don't recommend passing on is seeing if there is a way to integrate your systems, whatever your customers are using, with the marketing automation system.
I'd just like to add to that. As you can see, it's extremely simple. Very, very simple. We will, first of all, we will add the 655,000 links to the tools that were just mentioned to the website that we're launching for B2B Talks. We'll also send it all to you in an email after the event. Regarding marketing automation, Marketo, Pardot, great products. Very, very, very flexible. They're very, very good, especially though, we have to say that, if you have deep pockets in two ways. One, to pay their license fee, and two, to have this internal team. There are other there are other tools that are out there. One of them, a disclaimer, we represent them, but one of them is Acton, which is a simpler marketing automation tool, very, very good when you need to ramp up the operation in a relatively lower cost, and still get many of the features that exist in the more sophisticated tool out there. There is another tool, Acton. Another tool that is very, very useful that we use for our clients, and many of our clients also use directly, is a tool called Nimble. Especially if you are in the complex sales world, when the engagement with each prospect is very, very long, and you really need to know a lot about the person. Nimble is a kind of, now they ruined the video for everyone. Nimble is a social CRM tool that enables you to, it's connected also to the exotic CRM system we talked about before. It connects to Salesforce, it connects to other marketing automation tools. And as soon as you put a first name, last name, and an email address in it, you get all the data from the social networks about a specific person. The important point for B2B marketers is, of course, the fact that you can get data from LinkedIn. So you're able to get from a first name, last name, and an email address, title, company, and so on, all the lead qualification points. What we do for our clients, what happens with a lot of our clients after we stop working with them also, of course, is, of course, the basic notion, measurement is everything. What you can't measure does not exist, okay? And when you're talking about awareness, that we didn't talk at all about it, there are also additional things that need to be measured. In the previous panel, people said that the only role of marketing is to bring in leads. But leads start with awareness. So there's another tool that we're using a lot, even though it's less targeted for B2B marketers, but it's still very, very helpful in order to understand what is the overall view of a market. And this is Tracx, that enables you to really take a topic, identify all the key people talking about it, and then you can, if you build a smart process, you can basically take the people that you have identified there and push them through the funnel.
If you use the disclaimer, then I can use as well, right?
Yes, of course.
Just as I told you, I joined Sisense a month ago, and one of the things that I had the chance, for me it was the first time, is using business analytics, our own product, throughout marketing. And guys, this is amazing, and I know I'm selling you something here. So there are different tools, I assume, that can do the thing, but still getting the whole systems that we know, we have in Marketo, we have in Salesforce, the ability to have a lot of reports, but having everything integrated into one solution, business analytics, with dashboard that can really mash up all these sources and create different kind of dashboard that, for me, again, as I said, it was a complete surprise, an amazing one, really good one, and take you through some really, a whole different level of analyzing your data. So